Hello friends, and welcome back to Art of Creation Homestead. I'm Angela. Today we are doing a little something different. As you can tell, we are in the kitchen and we are doing something a little different. I recently had a very sweet viewer comment on one of our cooking videos saying that I needed to create a bacon ice cream. Well, the thing you guys don't know about me is I have an addiction to making homemade ice cream. I absolutely adore making homemade ice cream, and I absolutely adore making up new flavors. So immediately my brain started to click and I started thinking, okay, what can I do? How can I make this ice cream? And most people is automatically going to think, okay, maple bacon ice cream. But my brain don't work like everybody else's. My brain immediately went to this. And I gotta tell you, we're gonna try it. You're gonna try it with me for the first time ever. If this works, you will see this video. If it does not work, you will never see this video. So, we are making salted caramel bacon ice cream. Yes, I said it. Salted caramel bacon ice cream. So, now let's get started. But before we get started on what's in this pot, you have to make sure, because this is going to go really, this part is going to go really quick. So what you want to make sure you do is that you have every ingredient that you need for this recipe ready and at hand. So the very first thing you need to do is you need to separate 6 eggs. You need 6 egg yolks for this recipe. The egg whites, I would highly suggest you save those. You put them in a freezer bag, put them in the freezer, and freeze them. And when you get a dozen egg whites in the freezer, thaw them out and make yourself a chocolate angel food cake. It is to die for. If you want to see that recipe, let me know in the comments below. It is absolutely to die for. After you separate those egg yolks into a bowl, into I would say a medium-sized bowl, you want to measure out in a cup, particularly a measuring cup, a liquid measuring cup. You want to measure out 2 1/4 cups of heavy cream and 1 1/4 cups of whole milk. You can use 2% milk, but whole milk makes for a much creamier ice cream. So in this cup, we have a 1/2 cup of sugar. We use pure cane sugar, but that's just our preference. And a heaping 1/8 of a teaspoon of salt. You don't want to put any more salt than that because your bacon is also salty. And we also have some vanilla here, which is going to be, you're going to add about 3/4 of a teaspoon of pure vanilla extract. Now in this pot, this is where our caramel is going to start. We have a cup of granulated sugar. Yes, I know we already had a 1/2 cup of sugar over here. You will add that later. We have a cup of granulated sugar here and 1/4 of a cup of water. And this is in a heavy bottom stainless steel pot. You can use nonstick, you can use whatever, but what really works best is a heavy bottom stainless steel pot. So now what we are going to do, you want to have you want to have a whisk on standby as well, because you will need it in just a few minutes. But you want to have it on standby. Like I've told you, you want to have everything ready. So what you want to do, if you have a heavy bottom stainless steel pot, you want to put your heat on medium. If your pot isn't so heavy bottom, you want to do medium low, because it will have more of a tendency to burn quicker in a non-heavy bottom pot. This is a heavy bottom pot though. So you do not want to stir it. You want to let the sugar start to melt and dissolve into the water. And once it has melted, you want to occasionally swirl the pan around. I'll show you what I mean when it's time to do that. Okay, as you can see, the sugar is starting to melt. You're starting to hear a little bit of a sizzle. So you want to swirl it around a little bit. Just swirl your pot around just a little bit. You don't want to really stir it. You just want to swirl your pot around. Just like this. Just a little gentle swirl. That's all you want to do. It's just a little gentle, very gentle swirl. What you're doing here is you're making a caramel. And this is going to start getting darker brown. You want to let it cook, and it's going to start getting a darker and darker brown. And that's what you want to make this caramel, because essentially you're starting off this salted caramel ice cream with making a caramel. Oh, shocker, huh? So whenever you see that it's starting to cook really good again, you want to pick it up, give it a little swirl. Now this will go pretty quick. That's why I told you to have everything ready, because literally it can go from the perfect dark amber brown, which is what you really want, like a dark amber to a mahogany brown, to burnt really quick. So you want to have your cream and your milk at the ready. And see, that sizzling that you hear is the water cooking off. Oh, I almost forgot to tell you, it's very important to have a much bigger pot than you think you're going to need. I know this looks like it's not much. You want to have high sides, because the minute you add that cream and milk to this mixture, it's going to go crazy, boiling way up high. You don't want it to boil over, because that would lead to disaster. As you can see here, you're starting to see a very light tan color starting to appear. At this point, you're starting to smell things getting caramelized just a little bit. You're starting to smell a little bit of caramel going on here. Now it's going to start going quicker, so you need to keep a close eye on it. Do not walk away from it, or you're going to end up with burnt caramel. You don't want that. Not for the smell in your house, not for your pot. It's not good for your pot. Now you'll notice it's getting darker and darker. And you're getting more and more of a caramelly smell. This is actually a very fascinating process of making caramel. And you will see just how easy it is to make caramel at home. As you can see, the color has changed significantly. I hope you can see this on camera, how the color has changed significantly. You're starting to get a deep, rich color. But it's not quite there yet. And you're starting to get really strong caramel notes in smelling the air. And it's not bubbling as rapidly, because most of your water is gone now. So it's not bubbling as rapidly. The darker you get your caramel, the more of a caramel flavor you're going to have. And you want that with the ice cream, because that caramel flavor is going to be diluted down with all the milk and cream and eggs and all of that stuff. That caramel flavor is going to be diluted down. So you want a darker caramel with this. Like, as you can see right now, It is a light brown. You want it a little darker than that. You want it darker than that. You want to keep going at this point. The bubbling has almost completely stopped because almost all of your water is gone now. So now you've just got a sugar syrup that is just going to keep browning and keep getting more and more beautiful. And the smell, oh, it smells so good in here. It really does, because it smells like caramel. You're almost there at this point. See? You're almost there. Just a little bit darker. This so far has taken maybe 10 to 12 minutes. It doesn't take long. And see, you're almost there. See if you can see that. See, you're almost there. And we are there. Look at that. Look at that dark amber color. Now, when I add this milk, it's going to go crazy. Add it very slowly. See? It's going crazy. You want to add it very slowly. And now you want to start whisking it in to melt that caramel into your milk and cream. And it will melt in. It's going to feel like, oh no, it's not going to melt in. It's going to stick to my whisk. It's not going to melt in. No, it's going to melt in. It's going to melt in beautifully. Ah, it's a blob. It's going to melt in. Calm down. Okay, as you can see, it's melting off my whisk pretty quickly and going into your caramel ice cream. This is your ice cream base. Now you want to make this early because this custard base needs to chill for about 3 to 4 hours in the refrigerator. Or if you're in a hurry, which I have been known to do this, if you are in a hurry, you can actually drop this in the freezer and chill it in about half the time. I have done that before. But today I'm doing it early enough that I can just chill it in the refrigerator. Okay, and as you can see, that it's a beautiful color, and this is the only thing that's left of your caramel. Once all of your caramel is melted in completely, you want to keep this on the same medium heat. If you have a heavy bottom pot, you want to keep this on the same medium heat that you had it on. You just want to keep it moving. And see, your caramel is slowly melting in. And at this point, once your caramel is completely melted in, and see it's almost there, we are going to add our other half a cup of sugar and our heaping 1/8 of a teaspoon of salt. I would not really recommend using iodized salt here. It's more important to use sea salt, a good sea salt. We use pink Himalayan. And at this point, you want to add 3/4 of a teaspoon of vanilla extract. And we are going to keep stirring. We are going to keep whisking until all of this is mixed in. Make sure you get the corners, make sure you get the sides, everything. You want to keep this going, keep it heating, keep it moving until you start to see a very gentle bubble. And then I'll show you what we do next to temper our eggs. Okay, now it's reached that point where it was at a very gentle bubble, so we removed it from the heat. And as you can see, it's a beautiful caramel color. Here in our bowl, where we had our egg yolks, you want to take your whisk and whip those egg yolks up just really good. Now you want to take a 1 cup measuring cup and you want to dip out as much as you can dip into that measuring cup of your caramel ice cream mixture. And you want to slowly drizzle it in to your egg yolks and whisk while you're doing it. Whisk really good while you're doing it. What you're doing here, you are tempering your egg yolks. That way you do not end up with scrambled eggs in your ice cream base. Scrambled eggs in your ice cream base is not a good thing. Now you want to do another cupful, and you can pour a little faster this time. Now you want to do a 3rd cupful. Because what you're doing, you're making the temperature of your egg yolks match the temperature of your milk, your heavy cream, and your sugar. Now what we're going to do, now I'm going to pull this back over here, and now the temperatures are very close. So now you want to start pouring your mixture from your bowl back into your pot. Whisk very vigorously while you are doing this, because it still can curdle. So you still want to make sure you whisk it very vigorously. Okay. Now, you're probably thinking, okay, when is the baking part going to come in? That will come in later. Just be calm. That will come in later. Right now, we're just making our ice cream base. The bacon will come in later. Just stay calm. Okay. Now, as you can see, that is absolutely gorgeous. But we are going to return it to the heat so that those egg yolks can get a little more cooked in there. We're back at the stove now. And you want to turn it, if you have a heavy bottom pot, you want to turn it back on about a medium heat. If your pot isn't as heavy bottom, then you will probably want to go with a medium low. And you want to keep this moving. This should only take just a few minutes. You want it to coat the back of a spoon. I will show you what that looks like when it's done. Okay. We are this quickly. We are already at that point. See, it's coating the back of the spoon. You take your finger and you draw a line down that spoon. And as you can see, it's not going back together. So now you know it's ready. So now we're going to take it from the stove and I'll show you what we do next. In your big 4-cup measuring cup, or any bowl that you have that has a spout on it, will work great for this. Or you can just do it in a regular bowl. You can even leave it just in your pot. This is what I do because I want to make sure that there are no egg lumps in there. So I have a fine mesh sieve over top of it. If you don't want to do this step, you don't have to. And I slowly pour it into a cup through my fine mesh sieve. To catch any lumps that there may have been left from the caramel, any lumps from egg, any lumps from anything. Because there may have been some extra caramel lumps in there or anything. So you want to strain it through. And see, as you can see, there are a few solid pieces from the caramel. So it was a good thing that I did strain it. Now your ice cream base is ready to go into the fridge or the freezer if you're in a hurry to chill. In the refrigerator, you want to chill this for about 3 to 4 hours until it's nice and cold, really cold. No heat left on it at all, not even barely warm. You want it nice and cold, nice and chilled. Or you can put it in the freezer for about an hour or two You'll want to check it often because it will start to freeze, and you don't want it to start to freeze because then you'll end up with like crystallized ice cream, and you do not want that. So what we want to do now, you want to cover this with some plastic wrap really tightly, store it away, and I'll be back and show you how to make this into ice cream. And we'll bring in that bacon. You can't forget the bacon. When your ice cream base is nearly ready, when it's nearly chilled enough to go in your ice cream maker, you want to fry, you want to cut up. You've probably seen my tip on how I fry bacon. If not, check out the cracked potato video. That's where I show you how to, my little tips about frying bacon in pieces. You want to fry up about 6 to 8 slices of bacon. And that probably depends on how much bacon you want in your ice cream. You want to fry your bacon right before your ice cream base will go into your ice cream maker, because you want to give it a chance to cool while your ice cream is making in your ice cream maker. You want to give your bacon a chance to cool and to drain well, because you don't want the bacon grease in there. Okay, as you can see, my bacon is done and nice and crispy. This is going to be my one rule breaking, where I tell you never to use paper towel to drain your bacon on, because you end up with lint on your bacon. But this, you want every last bit of grease off of it. So after you've let it cool and drain some on your paper plate, that way it doesn't pick up lint, that way it's not hot and picks up lint off your paper towel, you want to put all your bacon onto a double thick layer of paper towel, and you want to pat it dry with another layer of paper towel. You want to pat it nice and dry. You don't want any of that bacon grease in there, because it's just going to solidify, and you're going to be eating chunks of frozen bacon grease. And as much as I like bacon grease, that's not good eats to me. So you want to make sure you toss it around and just keep blotting it. Just keep blotting it and get it as dry as you possibly can. Now, you're going to leave that on it so that it continues to absorb any grease. And now it's almost time to spin our ice cream. I've been waiting for this. The base is ready. We've took the plastic off, and now we're going to give it a good little stir with a whisk, just to make sure everything's mixed in. And isn't that glorious? Look at that beautiful custard mixture. I can't wait for this. This looks amazing. This particular ice cream maker is the type that has the frozen core. This right here you keep in the freezer, and it stays frozen. And to me, it's the best way. If you love to make a lot of ice cream, this is the best way to do it, because you don't have to have the salt, you don't have to have all of that. You don't have to have the salt, the ice, and all of that junk. It's just this easy. I'll show you. I will leave a link in the description below to this particular ice cream maker if you are interested in it. At this point, you will make this ice cream according to your ice cream maker's directions. With this particular ice cream maker, you go ahead and turn it on, and you pour in your base through the top while it's going. Isn't that absolutely beautiful? I can't wait to try it. This particular ice cream maker takes about 20 minutes to make ice cream. That's it. I have seen it take as little as 12 to 15 minutes, but because this is a thicker base, it'll probably take about 20 minutes or so. Now we're gonna let this go until it's done, and then we'll be back when it's time to add the bacon. And I'll show you how to do that. Okay, we're ready now to add the bacon. If you are using an old-fashioned ice cream maker, you will want to wait until your ice cream is done, and then you will fold in your bacon afterwards. But because this one is the way it is, you wait till it's almost ready, and see, you can see what it looks like. So you can see what it looks like. Oh, it's almost that perfect soft serve consistency. Oh gosh, I can't wait to taste it. So now, through the feeder, we are going to just put in that glorious bacon. Bacon and ice cream. Am I crazy? I don't think so. I think it's gonna be delicious. And now you'll just let it finish churning until all that bacon is incorporated in there, and until your ice cream is finished. It should just take just a few minutes longer for it to get a nice firm consistency, and then I'll show you what we do next. Okay, it is that perfect. If you like soft serve homemade ice cream, it is that perfect soft serve consistency. But personally, I like to let it get to that perfect scoopable consistency. So I'm loading it up into my container, and I'm going to put it in the freezer for a few hours or overnight. Basically until it's nice and firm and scoopable. To me, that's when it's the best. So now what you want to do is you want to smooth the top, and you want to put either a piece of plastic wrap or a piece of wax paper right down on the surface of your ice cream. This will keep it from developing those nasty big ice crystals on top of it that are just horrible. And then put a lid on it, put it in the freezer for probably about 4 hours to overnight to firm to that perfect scoopable consistency.
Okay, now I get to test this delicious, well, I'm sorry, this amazing different creation that Angela's made. I haven't tasted it yet, so I can't say delicious, but I bet it is. Wow. It's amazing. Stinking amazing. Fantastic. Amazing, amazing, amazing. You gotta try this. What's something right here? It's amazing. Amazing, yes. It's salted caramel. You get some bacon. It's sweet, but salty. The caramel, the bacon, smoke. Wow. Angel's a genius. Angel's a genius. So hey, thank you guys for watching. Subscribe, thumbs up. Those things are very important. Getting their videos out there and getting our messages out there. We do appreciate you guys watching. We love you guys so much. My name is Jason. The genius behind the camera is Angela. Okay. Thanks for watching our Creation Homestead. We love you guys. God bless you and goodbye.
Okay, this is the next day, and I just wanted to hop on here real quick to show you this. Don't expect, because of the salt content of the bacon and the salt content of the salted caramel, don't expect this to get rock hard like other homemade ice creams. It's not going to. Look at this. Look at this. It's gonna stay that beautiful, luxurious, just above soft serve consistency. Perfectly scoopable. It will make it melt just because of the salt content. It may make it melt just a little quicker, but because it's such a rich custard base, even the melting is going to be thick and rich and velvety and luxurious. This is not going to be an ice cream that's going to get rock hard, but this will be the perfect scoopable consistency all the time. And so delicious.